what happened. Problem is that when you go on these pre-deployment trainings, they pair you with a group of people. And so my buddies, Josh, Jesse, and I, we spent a pretty decent amount of time together in one of the Carolinas. I don't remember which one. In Virginia. And this is like the tail end of COVID, right?
Hugh, shut the fuck up for a second. Welcome fucking back, you silly fuck. I am fucking glad we doing this shit.
I am beyond excited to be back. I was super upset that we couldn't. I was upset that I couldn't make it work in Africa. And obviously the problem is that internet wasn't amazing. I don't know if you've ever been there or not, but it's not 11 out of 10. Would not recommend. But even at the time, what were we doing? Like 2 a.m. for me?
Bro, it was ridiculous. We just couldn't make it happen. Plus the whole fact that you were on fucking deployment.
Yeah, that part didn't really matter to me.
You know what I mean? Like, it just
but if I wanted to do it in my room, I had to do it like where my router was, and there was like a wall right here.
It was horrible, dude. It was horrible. Like,
I shared that wall with a roommate, basically, on the other side of my shipping container. So if I was up like playing video games at like midnight, they'd be banging on the wall like, go to bed. I'd be like, suck my dick.
Then when we would do the podcast, they'd be like, what kind of aggressive porn are you listening to? That's really weird.
Yeah, I had to go to my office a couple times. That didn't work out. And then I had to go to the coffee shop a couple times. That didn't work out. So we took a lengthy hiatus. For those of you that are tuning in for the first time tonight, this is Liberty Risk Podcast. I'm Hugh in America this time.
And I'm Billy. What's going on, guys? It's so fucking good to be back. It's been October 21st of 2001 was our last episode. Oh, so there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of changes. We're not going to talk about them today, but you can tell the logo's different. We're moving forward in a different direction. It's just going to be Hugh and I. We'll have guests on from time to time, but it's just us. We're the only hosts. And it's going to be us. So fucking Hugh, cheers, brother. Cheers, my man.
Dude, it's so wild that, I haven't really thought about it, but, we like delayed a little bit here and there. We're like, oh, when are we going to come back? And we're like, all right, today's going to be the day. And it's Memorial Day of all days. Like,
perfect day to start this shit back up. Dude.
Yeah, of all the days to come back and talking about veterans issues and veteran stories and veteran service organizations and whatnot, today would be the day that we came back. So this works out pretty well. Liberty Risk Podcast, Pot de.
Part 2.0. Yeah. We're gonna do this shit good, but dude, it's been a minute, and it's been crazy. We've been talking about this for a little bit, and then trying to get back in the groove of things. We had to change a lot, and it's for the better. So the good point is like I was on DV Radio the other.
You were, and it was fantastic. If you haven't heard, go to DV Radio on their Facebook. You can find the link, and Billy was fantastic on the show.
Yeah, dvradio.net. You can check them out there. You guys, they're one of our biggest supporters. We love them over there. They're just a great group of people. And, it was good to get on there and hear them hyped up about us coming back. So it was pretty fucking cool after being gone for so long. It's wild to hear
the excitement of other people. Like, I've told you multiple times, I'm very nervous to come back. And I think part of that is when we started it was COVID. We didn't have fuck all else to do. So it was like, why not get on the internet and just tell people about a bunch of stuff? And now you have a whole new job from when we first started the show. Yeah. I no longer live south of the Mason-Dixon. And I live up in Maine permanently. I'm back from deployment. And now it's like, oh, you have to carve out time. You have to put in some like actual effort. It wasn't like, hey, let's roll out of bed the day of the show and Google veterans issues and try to wing it and sell whatever it was that we were selling. Now we're putting in a measurably lengthier amount of effort now that we've decided to commit to doing LRP not only live but for the long term.
No, absolutely. And like I said on DV Radio, the first 90, 100 episodes we did, whatever it was, we lost count.
I think 90 something episodes.
90 something episodes. The way I explained it was a huge learning curve for us. It was a different time in the world. We were talking about that in the green room. It was a completely different time in the world. It was COVID. So being COVID, it helped out with the audiences. They were there all the time, stuck at home, unless you were an essential worker or something, or your job let you go to work. But it was a different time in the world. We're past all that bullshit. thank God. Actually, you know what? Speaking of, I haven't even heard like the fucking COVID shit. What's like?
Oh, funny story. Allegedly, we're done. I went to the VA.
I don't know. It's crazy, man.
VA was, but if you go to the VA now, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. And
no,
the hospital
you know what?
saying
My
you have to wear a
VA,
mask, like you're good. Well, you are in the South, and like something about. I'm not really gonna get into all that. What's going on down there in the South? But my VA was like, allegedly we're done. Even at work, they were like, yeah, you're good. You can come into the clinic without a mask on anymore. There's a couple of people at work that have been like religious about the mask. Even after like we went back to work and everyone was good to go, they kept wearing the mask, and now we're seeing them at work. They're not wearing them anymore. So allegedly we're done. And I don't really know a whole lot about biology or how to like scare people into a pandemic or what have you, but as I understand it, we're done. Mike McCraw is a medium speed, lots of drag, but it's obviously something you guys are passionate about. Keep pounding and moving forward. It's great. He can say that because Mike McCraw, I don't know if I've ever told this story on the show. He and I were in Iraq together, and on that deployment, the military like bought us clothing so that we like looked like contractors, which meant they spent all of our. If you've ever been in, right, and you've gotten money for that, like it's your money, you're supposed to spend it wherever you want to. Our unit decided we'll spend it for you, and they bought us all the same 511 gear, so everybody had the same like 2 or 3 button-ups, 2 or 3 polos, and 2 or 3 pairs of pants, right? So we all looked the fucking same. So Mike and I were rooming together, and I would get up a little earlier because I wanted to go check the emails, make sure there was some other stuff done before the workday started. He used to peek out of his rack and see what I was wearing and dress to match, just so that on the camp people would think that it was me or him or me or him. And then they would always confront me about it, like, did you guys dress the same today on purpose? And then there would Mike be like on the corner of some building, like, teamwork makes the dream work. Just like,
did we just become best friends? Yes.
Yup. Yeah, we had so much room for activities in that hooch. That 11 out of 10 would recommend living on that camp again.
Oh my God, dude! That was where here's one of the guys. One of the guys from DV. What's up? What's up? What's up, fellas?
Scotty?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It feels good to be back. It feels good to be back. After this tonight, Sky, what time are you guys going live on DV Radio tonight for Barracks Talk? Because I know they're going live too tonight. So make sure to give those guys a shout out.
Oh, that'll be a fun tune. Oh, there's my boy in the corner. Hi, Guinness, love you. I bought him a new bed. You got to treat him right.
Hell yeah. But dude, it's been fucking crazy lately. It's been new job, working for a new company. Absolutely love it. 8:30 p.m. by the way, dvradio.net. So check out Barracks Talk at 8:30 p.m.
dvradio.net.
.net.
Right?
Did I say .com?
Okay. No, but I just want to make sure.
Okay, I just want to make sure. No, it's dvradio.net.
dvradio.net.
Fuck.
Tell us about your job. You had a pretty baller job when we first started, but I think
I'm not going to get too much details or anything. But
it's tits now.
Yeah, but it's a remote position. I get to work from home. It's pretty fucking cool. I'm not going to drop the company name or anything like that because I haven't asked permission. But it's an awesome gig, and I'm not in the RV industry anymore. Thank you, God. It is crashing fast, and I feel bad for some of the guys that aren't tuned in to selling RVs and some luxury RVs. It's a very it's a tough job, and I think it takes a special talent to be able to do that. But it's the one thing I do. This is very lucrative. Like you said,
fully from home.
Yes,
100% of the time, right?
Yeah. 100% of the time. I go down to Miami. I'll set up office time down there.
That must suck. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I'm
gonna go down to Miami.
I'm gonna start doing some podcasts from a fucking hotel balcony just to throw it back.
Oh, well, it's about fucking time. We'll just be here hating live. I'll take the sheet down and let the sun in. Don't have to threaten me with a good time. You're finally gonna go down to Miami doing it down in a hotel like I was doing in California.
Yeah, but Cali was so much better, dude. Cali's so much better.
It was nice. It was nice.
But
but you go down to Miami, you get yourself a good Cuban. A coworker of mine just went down there, and he was like, "What do I do?" I was like, "You go to a cart, you get a Cuban sandwich." He's like, "What is that?" And I told him what it was. I said, "I don't care what you eat while you're down there. I don't care who you eat while you're down there, but you have to go to a cart. You have to get a Cuban sandwich, and then come back and tell me it's the greatest thing you've ever had." I swear to God, Monday morning, I was like, "How was it?" He goes, "Yeah, you didn't disappoint, man."
No, I mean, the food down there, the culture down there, it's just awesome. It's definitely a different way of life. Something I'm just not used to, living up here
It'll
in
be good for you though, man.
North Carolina.
It's not the military sending you somewhere anymore. It's work for the betterment of you to go to these places. You know what I mean? Thanks, Jeannie. We're really glad to be back. We can't wait to have you on the show. I was talking to Jeannie earlier today about how nervous I was to be back and the kinds of things that we're looking to set up. Jeannie's definitely going to be joining us here in the next couple of weeks.
Cody,
friend of yours?
Yep, Cody. Oh yeah, no, she's from the other podcast, from Unprofessional Veterans. She's from Unprofessional Veterans, one of the co-hosts. So Cody, nice. Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. And then we got the guys over at dvradio.com.
That's
in
right.
all seriousness, so damn glad to see you guys back. Fucking love you, brothers. We love you guys too. We appreciate everything you guys do for the veteran community. You guys are awesome. But no, it's yeah, I got to make a couple of trips down to Florida. Okay. Some of them I can just pick. If I want to go work down in the main office for a week or a couple of days, I can set it up. But then there's, mandatory trainings and stuff like that that'll come up that, they'll fly me down there for the week and stuff like that. So it's a really awesome gig. Love the company, love the culture. And most importantly, what I think is important with any job that you have is that the people you work with and, the men and women over there they're just awesome individuals. And I'm just thankful that I was given the opportunity to be able to switch careers, which happened just very recently. Happened in March, which was
less than 6 months ago.
So we talked about this, and it's, I left this job, and everyone's like, "You got to put your 2 weeks in. You got to put your 2 weeks in." I just don't believe in that. I just don't. Nope. I don't believe in.
Sorry, disagree.
Put in my 2 weeks
to be there. You're just gonna be there. Like, they know you're leaving. What are you gonna do? If you work less, are they gonna fire you? If you work more, are they gonna reward you?
Yeah, and you most of the time they let you go. And it's like almost like they're just making you go through the motions. And I'm just, why sit there and just take that? So I was offered the job on a Wednesday night, signed the offer letter, sent it immediately back. Thursday morning, an hour before I was supposed to show up for my shift, and a day before I was supposed to work a big RV show down in Myrtle Beach, I said, fuck this. I'm writing an email to my GM. And I wrote the email. Very professional. I was just like,
sure.
Blah, 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 blah. And then the emails and the text messages came back. And what can we do to keep you here? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you can't. Like, unless you can offer me, and I'm not going to
unless you can match,
unless you can double what I just got offered. Good luck to you guys. And knowing that there was no way in hell that would ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty entertaining. And then, so that was Thursday morning, had a nice long weekend, which was the first Saturday I had off in 2 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm like, fuck, I got 4 days off. What the fuck? What do I do?
Like 11 times.
This is crazy. This is crazy. And I started that Monday on March 20th. So it was,
there you go.
It's been awesome ever since. And I'm doing very well there. And I'm just blessed to just have that opportunity. So it's awesome.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. I did not have such an easy transition coming home, actually. I came home from deployment, and a couple of people in San Diego got electrical shocks. And so our whole island went into a fucking shutdown, which personally is hilarious. It was none of us, right? Like, at the end of the whole thing, they determined, like, the long and short of it was, I work in the temporary electrical department. It wasn't any of our stuff. But we were still like in a shutdown where we were evaluating. A lot of people were admitting that supervisors and leadership like maybe dropped the ball on a couple things. But I was able to figure out like which department I wanted to be in. And that's the department I'm in now. And it's a lot of fucking fun. You would love these dudes. And here's exactly how I know you would love these guys, because we talk about overtime all the time. And I am not a money-driven kind of person. I'm not working overtime just for the sake of extra money. I'm not like I make $25 an hour. I'm not making $32.50 on a Saturday an hour just to have $48.27 taken out of my fucking taxes. You know what I mean? So we're fucking arguing about overtime and whatnot. And I was like, I'm not doing it all. I'll do 10s during the week all day. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And so I was talking to my work leader, solid guy, and I was like, I'm just not coming in for work we could do during this week or next week for a job that isn't happening for 90 more days. You know what I mean? Like we're way ahead of schedule in general.
Absolutely.
It's maintenance. I mean, like for any of you that have ever worked at a shipyard, you're usually ahead of the schedule. I'm not coming in just 90 to 180 days. Yeah, just to fucking be there. Fuck off. So I was telling him, I'm not coming in. And a couple of the other guys were like, no, this is dumb. This is a waste of our time. And he's like, don't worry. Big Daddy Small Dick Big Balls got you. And I have so much trouble saying it without laughing now. Just the way it rolled right off his tongue. Big Daddy Small Dick Big Balls is taking care of you.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
It was perfect. It was so perfect at 5:15 in the morning. Hi, Justin. 5:15 in the morning, he's saying this, and I'm like, that dude hasn't even had coffee yet. Like he had to have the fucking back burner and the hopper ready to fucking go.
Oh yeah, no, those are. I feel like that's so good because I feel like people that make comments like that are like, it's like a preemptive comment, like, oh yeah, I wrote this down.
Like he knew, he wrote it down. You're gonna have Big Daddy Small Dick Big Balls.
So funny.
Yeah, if we're ever dumb enough to spend money on a gator, that's going on the side. Big Daddy Small Dick Big Balls in the gang. And then a couple of fat heads all over it.
So dude, it's been I want to go back to, as you know, everyone can see our logo has changed. So also our website is down. We're going to be spending some time getting that back up and running. There's going to be a lot of different things on it. Unfortunately, the company that we worked with did a fucking horrible job. And it looked like someone was jacking off with a fucking handful of glass and then fucking shot it onto the fucking internet. And then that was our website. So
we're definitely putting a lot of effort into designing a new logo, designing a clear website. We're working on getting the episodes to load automatically to all the platforms. I use one of them, but apparently there's more than. Billy is taking care of that. Because my job is to sit here and drink and talk. Billy's job is to make this successful.
Produce and do all the other shit. Thank
you. So hopefully that will be up in the next couple of months.
Bo knows how that goes from DV.
But I want to talk about what it is, what the major changes are for the show.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, I started playing rugby last year at 34 because I refuse to acknowledge how old I am. I will not do my own cardio, and I miss wrestling. So rugby was a natural lateral move for me.
God.
And so my rugby team went, this team, Portland Rugby. I'll move the knife out of the way. Portland Rugby. We did 10 days in Scotland and London. If you have me on Instagram, you saw the photos. It was a great time, and I got to go to a Six Nations match where Ireland was playing Scotland in Edinburgh, and it was a fantastic time. I don't know that I've really ever had that kind of experience, and I didn't know how much I needed this. I needed that trip. I texted Billy while I was over there
multiple times.
More than once. I texted him though. I sat down in my seat and I had my beer in my hand, and the match was getting ready to start. And I texted Billy that I wasn't sure how much I needed this trip because I probably would have killed myself if I had not gone on.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. We were worried. There was a lot of us that were worried about you, and that trip was
my laundry's done.
Inadvertent therapy.
I've never been to the point where I was able to like acknowledge due to realization that there was so much of an issue. And what it made me realize is a lot of the time I'm pretty much lying 90% of the time about how I'm doing. A lot of the time when people ask like how things are going or how you're doing or how your performance, whatever, I'm just kind of giving them the top. And I told Billy when we do these shows, when we log on, and I usually start with a fun story just to kind of like make light of things because I need it to kind of get into the mood. And I told Billy, I said, when you ask me how I'm doing, some days I might want to yeet myself off the third floor of the building right into dry dock number 2. And when he's like, why dry dock number 2? Well, because that's the deeper of the dry dock.
It's my special place.
I'm not coming back. I need for myself to stop pretending that things are okay when they're not. And
I just hold on. I appreciate where you're going, but in my head now, I see like a really bad episode of MythBusters, and they're like, "All right, today we're gonna try out this fucking
how high do you need to be?
Sodium gas powered launcher, and we're gonna fucking use a real human. Here's you,
we're using a real human right in the dried out tree, 63 feet deep from the third floor, which is minimum 73 feet tall.
Fucking God,
it's only moderately disconcerting. I know the heights, but that's okay. I needed to stop pretending that things were okay when they weren't. And so part of the things that I want to do moving forward is, one, we're going to start doing what we're going to call a state series. Billy and I are going to find organizations in different states, all the states that help veterans, our veteran service organizations, our nonprofits, and what have you. And we're going to try to reach as many people in every state as possible. Another thing that we're going to do is we're going to reach out to professionals. And we want you, if you're watching or listening, to write us in anonymous messages. We'll figure out how to put them up on Instagram. Figure out how to put them up on Facebook. You can email us and ask us to be anonymous. I want to be able to ask professionals questions that I'm too scared to ask them myself. If you, Billy, I know that you can contest this. I'm on my third therapist, I think, with the VA. And I know that one of the questions is, have you ever woken up one day and felt like it would just be easier if you weren't alive? I know that you all had this question. This is all part of, if you've ever been to the VA and you're like, I need mental health or treatments, or I need therapy, this is a question that they asked you. Have you ever woken up and thought it'd be better if you weren't alive? And I always say, no, I've never thought that way. But sometimes I'm just kind of laying there like, man, if I just like didn't get out of bed, like who would that really affect? I'd be dead. Like, how would I know? I want to tell my therapist, yeah, motherfucker. Sometimes it would be easier to not have to go make $25 an hour and pay $22.50 in taxes. I want to be like, and then when they're like, oh, well, how would your family? Bitch, I'm dead. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I want to, when you come back from deployment, when you're like, hey, doc, my fucking cock doesn't work properly. Oh, well, why is that? Well, that's why I'm fucking here, to find out.
Yeah, like it's so fun. It's so fun.
You fucking tell me. Hey, doc, how come every time I shit, I have to wipe 87,000 fucking times? It can't possibly be the galley food that's supposed to be good for me. Hey, doc, how come I'm up 19 times in a fucking night? Oh, is it because my white noise isn't like helicopters and incoming rounds? It's whale songs and white noise and crickets? Oh, well, that used to work when I was a kid. But I guess it makes sense that the entirety of the invasion of other countries, it was all just like fucking incoming rounds and bullshit, doc. What can I do to fix this?
This is what I want. So true. It's just so true. I
want people to write us these messages. I want to write us these questions because I want to get people on here who are experts in these fields, so that we can. Sorry, I got a little bit worked up there. I want to provide these questions. I want to provide these questions to professionals because, like, I know that I've had these questions, and if I have them, the internet has taught me that you have them. As it turns out, I'll tell you what, the internet, as much as I fucking hate the advent of the internet, I will tell you that I never realized how much people share vested interests. I didn't realize how much people shared vested interests until I saw the amount of people that shared that dude doing the dance from a Goofy movie. Have you not seen it, Billy? If we listen to each other now. It's hilarious, man. The guy's all into it. Don't even pretend like you haven't seen it. It's fucking brilliant. But it wasn't until I saw that video that I'm like, people have these similar interests all over the place, but I know that you're afraid to ask these questions. And I'm afraid to ask these questions too, because I don't want the VA to be like, nah, player, you broken. Like, you can't go on deployment. I got 15 years in the Navy Reserve. I got minimum 5 left. I'm trying to stay active. I'm trying to stay going. And I got a lot of my fucking therapists, my provider.
No, you're right. And it's just like, I just had a therapy. I just talked to my therapist, did a virtual therapy session.
Eye to Eye.
2 Wednesdays ago.
Eye to Eye is the name of the song. Eye to Eye is the name of the song.
There you go.
Sorry, there you go.
So I saw my therapist through a virtual meeting, just because it's easier for me. My VA is over an hour away. I know some people drive further, but for me, being a single parent, that's just a pain in the ass because there's a lot of coordination that goes into me going to a fucking appointment.
Who's got the time?
Really? So
Some of these people, like, I mean, your VA might not be that far apart, but I remember when I'm deployed with a battalion out of the Midwest, they were going to drill 6.5 hours away. How the fuck close are they to a VA? Or even an outpatient clinic that accepts VA care?
Like, look what Jeannie just said. Working in mental health for nearly 20 years, and I still don't feel okay answering those questions. So it's kind of the same thing. Like I was doing better. I was doing a lot better. I was just like, weaning off medicines, low dosage on the antidepressants. And I was like, I'm getting to a good spot. This is good. And I don't know what the fuck happened 2 Wednesdays ago. Dude, I was bawling my eyes out like my whole family got murdered in front of me. And I was just like, at the end of the session, I'm like, what the fuck happened? And then the doc was just like, you need to see a psychiatrist.
And the veteran in you was like, you need to go fuck yourself. But then, like, the rational part.
No, but it's the first time I was just like,
probably right.
Oh no! And I looked at him and I said, "That sounds great."
The psychiatrist is the one that can prescribe meds, right?
Or the psychologist, one of them. It was a level up from him. I can't even remember it because I was. It's so fucked up.
I have no idea. I don't know what the difference
dumping
is.
shit. I was just dumping shit that I just haven't talked about yet.
Yeah,
and it was just bad, and it was bad and good. I don't like, and I told him, I was like, I don't fucking like getting like this. I don't. He's like, that's why you're talking to me. Like, this is. It's
cathartic
shit.
To get it off your chest, to get it out of you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of scary because, like, you didn't know that stuff was in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You thought, like, oh, I got past it. I'm good. I'm above that level.
Hey, Cam, what's going on?
Hi, Cam. And then all of a sudden it starts coming out, and internally you're like, I thought we had cleared you before. And as it turns out, maybe that is not the case.
No, it was well needed. This one's really long. This is coming from Bo over at DV Radio. He goes, I had a chat with an old therapist about stress, depression, and suicide once, about how everybody at least once have those thoughts, whether they're on the verge of being serious or just have that fuck this today moment. She is the first and only therapist that agreed, knew what I was getting at, and didn't send me to the white coats. That's great.
It's wild that you have that. It's insane that, like, a lot of people, a lot of veterans get to that point where they can say, I wasn't sent to so-and-so. I finally got to the point where I wasn't sent to so. I finally got help and wasn't sent to so-and-so.
And then Michael said this. Michael said, that's what the community is lacking, bro. We need a safe space to be honest without being locked in a padded room someplace. We just need someone to listen sometimes. And, Mike, you're right, and I've said this before. Everyone's very well aware of it. I'm not ashamed of it. When I was active duty, I made a very tough career decision and I, without telling my chain of command, walked into a civilian inpatient mental health facility and checked myself in for 21 days. And it was the best decision I ever made, especially carrying a gun every day, because I was master at arms. For those that don't know what that is, military police. I could have literally and I was a supervisor, so I was a watch commander, so I was sitting I could have just sat in my office, locked the fucking door, pulled the blinds, pulled my pistol off my fucking thigh drop, and just it crossed my mind many time, and I caught myself many a time with my gun sitting on my desk loaded with a round in the chamber. And I just for whatever reason I'm here, and it's a good thing, and it just sucks that
that you didn't have, for the multiple times that you had that thought, that it never occurred to you that there was somebody that would be willing to listen without judgment.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to get to. And it's hard.
Nobody you felt comfortable talking to. And admittedly, in the time that you were in, and it was earlier in my career, later in your career, there was still a stigma that if you needed assistance, that there was something wrong with you.
Oh, no, it destroyed my career after that. I was black labeled.
Even when I was going to Africa. Even when I was going to Africa, I take an antidepressant that's like used for 10 other fucking things. And I had to get it cleared through AFRICOM Higher, which is up in Germany, because there's only a Role 2 facility out there.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to the corpsman. He's like, well, you take it for depression. And I was like, well, what else do you take it for? And he's like, oh, a lot of people like take it to quit smoking. I'm like, bitch, you couldn't lie. Like, I reach out to you to go on deployment. Fucking lie for me, man. Like, you tell me I might not go on this deployment because I got fucking depression. Like, who doesn't? And he was like, oh, you know, like, don't fucking worry about it and whatever. I'm like, dude, I should have just came right out with that motherfucker and told him straight up, fucking lie for me. I shouldn't have to do that, though. I shouldn't have to be like, oh, well, hey, by the way, I need you to lie for me as a medical professional so I can continue to stay serving.
No, and that's what happened to me. And I've said this many a times, you know, or earlier on in our show years ago. I've said it many times.
God, that's a thing you can say.
Yeah, it is. It is. I was black labeled. I was blackballed. I was taken out of my position at the precinct, and I was when I was able to arm back up, they forced me to work for E5 as like some kind of fucked up fuck you punishment. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then when I brought it up, I was told that I was lucky to even fucking be here.
Yeah, I'm sending that E5 to find like blinker fluid and board stretchers and float.
Oh, it was funny. He was like, hey, I need you to go do this. And I told the individual, I was like, listen, man, I'm going to show the fuck up. I'm going to grab a patrol vehicle and I'm going to drive the fuck around this base until the end of shift. And that's all I'm fucking doing. You can kiss my dick. And that's pretty much how that's fucking going to go. So
it shouldn't have to be like that,
well,
man.
we have posts. And I said, I know. Posts, you got to film, motherfucker. This ain't my job no more. I'm going to show the fuck up, grab that and go.
You should be allowed to go and get your assistance, go and get your help, and go back to your command, pardon me, without, you know, they say like, oh, you got fear of reprisal if you make complaints. And yes, you do. You shouldn't have to fear reprisal, but you also shouldn't be afraid that your job's not going to be there for you when you get back, that you're going to get a demotion because you're making the call to go and get your engine tuned up just to make sure that you're good to go.
Yeah.
As much as I thoroughly enjoyed working with the people that I got to work for, or excuse me, with in Africa, the med facility, and maybe this is just my biased opinion because I actually went to them a few times, but I went when I first got there after I like got settled in, and I went and made a mental health appointment. And so I got an appointment, I did my intake, and I went and saw the E5 that was there. And I told them, you know, I got mental health treatments back home. I want to get an appointment every 3 to 4 weeks while I'm out here because I'm going to be here for a year. I just want to make sure the engine is fucking tuned up properly. I want to make sure that I'm good to go. I want to make sure that I'm functioning. And this person was like, yeah, we're not set up for that.
No, it's a damn shame. It's a cycle that's never going to be broken. It's something that we have to do better at taking the resources. I think, and I've always said this, I think our generation is better at opening up than past generations. I'm using, when I say generations, military generations, I'm using wars.
Sure, I definitely
wars as examples. So we do better than
2004 and beyond, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we do better than,
which is almost
the Gulf War guys, Vietnam, Korean War, World War II vets, all those guys. We do a lot better because they, especially them, God, those guys back in the day, it was suck it the fuck up, buttercup. You got shit to do. That mentality's still there in the sense, but now these resources are being so shoved down the chain of command's faces that the chain of command doesn't have a choice but to let us go get that help. Now, when I say me, I've been out for almost 10 fucking years. So it was a different time even 8 years ago, 8.5 years ago. You know what I mean? And that's not a long time. Yeah. 2015.
2015.
Yeah, so I think almost 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's wild, man. It was a different time. I was that last generation. I feel that it was because I see the kids that worked for me now outranking the rank that I had, and they're still in. Just to give you an idea, and I mean, good for them. You know, good for them. You know, they're making careers of it, and they're doing great. But it's, you know, I'm just glad that you're getting to a point where you feel it's okay, Hugh, to be able to talk about this shit and to use the platform that we're gonna just do that here. We're going to use the platform to get our shit out and not be fake. And it's going to be great. You're going to see some tears. You're going to see some anger. You're going to see tons of fucking laughter and us being the two goofy bastards that we are, because it's the only thing we know how to do. But we want to keep the content 100% real and raw. And I think that's something we failed at last time. We said we were, but we weren't. And we're just being truthful about that. But it's something we need to do now. So, yeah.
I will
that's kind
say
of where we're at.
I know something about myself is that I use humor as a defense mechanism, which cannot possibly be shocking to anyone that's ever met me.
No.
But too much, I think, when it was necessary to not be humorous. And to your credit, like you said, there are a lot of people that are outranking you when you got out. And I think that we are at the tail end of a lot of people. As I've said it before, that there are a lot of people that stayed in after Afghanistan and Iraq that probably shouldn't have. They were not the right ones to stay in. The ones who did the work and made the sacrifices, they got out. And I'm sure that was good for them. However, for the rest of us, it was not good because the wrong people stayed in. And now we're at this point where I think we're at the tail end of the wrong people who stayed in finally timing out. And the people who were more, as you said, who were more accepting, who were more open to dealing with these problems and speaking with it, are now at that higher level leadership. And they're maybe more able and willing to incite change and to elicit cooperation from organizations and between themselves as leadership and personnel to make sure that their people are fighting in fighting for them. Because we know that, your phone gets the news now. You know that there's stuff going on in the world, and we're going to need people. And we need those people to be as fit as possible. And if we stayed the way that we were going 5 to 10 years ago, we're not going to be in the same shape. We're going to be relying on people who are incapable or are unable to perform at the level in which we need to. And so thankfully we're at as I said, the tail end of people who shouldn't have stayed in, finally timing out and getting to the people who wanted to and are able to elicit some change in the service.
Yeah. Mike said Hugh is real. He's a funny guy just naturally, but he ain't lying, and his humor is often dark, but works for him. No, listen, I've known Hugh for a very long time. Hugh and I are very good friends, and not by any means, that's not what I was saying. It's saying that on this show is where
we definitely use humor to cover a couple of real topics.
On the show is we're going to bring
made it easier for us to talk about it, but made it easier for us to talk about it. And, so another thing that Billy and I talked about doing is every 3 to 5 episodes or so, we're going to take a break from the interviews because just the gravity. If you watched any of the previous episodes, we talked about some heavy stuff that it was necessary to talk about, and it was good to talk about.
Absolutely.
But if you don't take a break and breathe, I know, Bubba, it's almost feeding time. If you don't take a break and breathe, it just weighs on you. And that's, I think, what was happening. And we needed to make light of a couple of situations.
And we weren't being real about it on here. Is the big thing is we were absorbing that emotion from all these different people we were interviewing, organizations, and the work they do, which is the work they do is everyone we had on, they all do amazing work in the veteran community. But
we want to keep having them on, but we don't want to diminish what it is that they're doing.
Absolutely. And we don't want to fake the funk on here. Now, outside, like Michael said, Michael and Hugh are buddies, and they have those real conversations, but that's off camera. So the point is on camera, we're going to have those same conversations we have off camera to make sure that everyone gets the 100% true version of us. And that's something that we had very long talks about, about a week ago? About a week and a half ago.
3 times.
But we had a big meeting for the podcast.
We want to make sure that what it is that we're bringing to all of you is not only just the resources, but we want to bring to you the understanding that what it is that you may or may be feeling is understandable. And while Billy and I cannot always understand or empathize with what it is that you're going through, that doesn't mean that there aren't other people. And we want to make sure that what we're doing is we're connecting you with resources and personnel that can help you. I don't want to say power through because it sounds like it makes me feel like we're just saying dismiss a lot of things, but we want to make sure that you are being able to power through for the sake of staying at an optimal operating proficiency.
Yes, 100%. And Jeannie said, also guilty. I kind of enabled y'all, but man, it's scary as fuck to get off your chest. No, it absolutely is. And that's what we want to do is it's something we always use the podcast as a form of therapy, but we weren't using that therapy effectively in the old version of the podcast. So it's something that we're changing. It's one of the changes that we talked about at the beginning of the show that we're going to make, and we're just letting you guys know. And Hugh and I are very real. We've had, we've shared tears together, we shared laughter together, in person, over the phone, and we're going to bring that to the show, directly on the show, in front of the camera, live for the world to see. As people I don't think they realize that
we provide
this is live. This is live on
platform.
the internet, and whether people see it or not, it's live all over the world right now.
And we provide it free to veterans, veteran service organizations, and 501s. And the reason that Billy and I do it for free is because Italian hands.
From my back.
We do it this way because a person's passion, it can be faked. And we want to be sure that what we are providing you is legitimate. Billy and I we think we do a pretty decent job of screening organizations and personnel.
Yeah.
And we tell them when they come on the show that this is going to be live. We will not be able to go back and edit this version. If they want to take the show and cut parts out for advertising, that's fine. We tell them they can do that. But an organization or a person that believes in what they're doing, you're going to be able to see it on the show. And that's important to us. It's important to us that you see how much they value whatever it is that they're providing, that you believe that they care in what it is that they are providing for you. Because if you believe that they think if you believe that they're faking it, then like, what's the point? What are you providing it for? If you're here for profit, then and that's not to say that like every veteran organization is a nonprofit. A lot of them, some of them are for profits. Maybe a lot of them are for profits. I don't know. We haven't done enough research yet. But we want to make sure that whatever it is that you're getting is beneficial to you. And that's why we're continuing to do this every week. Is it because every organization, every group provides something different for each individual person. We want to make sure that every organization and group and person has an opportunity to advertise themselves and talk about themselves. We also want to make sure that you have an opportunity to view the resources available to you. Billy, you got off active duty one time. I've done it 5 fucking times. And every goddamn time, it's fucking pain in the ass, man. Yeah. Every time there's like a new group of people who are talking about a thing, and I'm just sitting back here like, fucking 2010, you were called something different. In 2013, you were called something different. In 2017, you were fucking something different. It's something different every goddamn fucking time. So whether you're turning in for the first time, you were in 20 plus years, or you're a reservist about to get off your first deployment, maybe we can help with your transition. Maybe we can provide you a veteran service officer. Maybe we can provide you an organization. Maybe we can connect you to the VFW or the American Legion or whomever to help facilitate your proper transition. Because the unfortunate reality is, whether you're active duty or reserve, when you're done, you're done. That's it. You have a very limited timeline in the time in which you have to go back to being a civilian. And if you're not prepared for it, mentally, career, financially, or what have you, it is only astronomically worse than just leaving one job and going to another. And we want to make sure that we are at least doing our part to provide the appropriate resources for a smooth transition.
Absolutely.
And I can't think of the appropriate word. Transition. I'm going to end on that word.
Yeah, no, the correct transition to, leaving active duty or after active duty to your next steps. And it's, our podcast is something we've decided on. It's going to be 100% veteran driven, veteran organizations or individuals that are directly related to helping veterans directly. So any civilian entities aren't going to be involved unless it's something that is directly related to veterans. We want to be that platform for veteran organizations to come on and talk about their stuff as usual, and give them that place to promote and do all that stuff. But also to have those real conversations that I just don't think people are really having nowadays without the fluff and the editing that goes on in the green room. And that's, Hugh, I know that's what you were talking about before, is that this is live. And this podcast is a little bit different because it's only live, and it's 100% live, and it's not. And Michael, it's not a taps class. It's you'll see. We want you to stay in and watch, and just to see where it's going to go. So, Hugh, I do want you to touch back on the state episodes. Where are we taking that? What is, give a little more detail.
So, what I want to do is every state has their own 501s or their own VSOs that assist veterans. Every state has these things, right? And Billy, when you and I started this podcast, we said we're going to provide these organizations a free platform to tell veterans we're here for you. Yep. And a lot of effort went into the episodes that we had before finding them. So what we're going to start doing is we're going to start targeting each state individually. So starting from one coast, working to the other, we're going online. We're typing Washington State Veteran Organizations, Nebraska State Veterans Organizations, Texas State Veterans Organizations. Doing our research, whether it's Google, Facebook, Instagram. Billy will do it on TikTok. I refuse to download it. And we're going to find these organizations, and we're going to do one state at a time. And we're going to start with ensuring that we are reaching the full spectrum of veterans. And the reason is, having worked in the veteran community myself, Billy being involved with the veteran community himself, a lot of personnel have to travel. And whether that's the best choice for them or not, we think that it's worth letting people know that there might be an organization near them to provide them the assistance that they need, whether that's a service animal, whether that's a hiking group, a hunting group, a fishing group, yoga therapy, whether that's radiological treatment, whether that's medical treatment, whether it's mental health, what have you. I think I said mental health twice. I'm not 100% sure. No, but whatever it is, we want to make sure that we are reaching the entirety of the United States. We want to make sure that 100%. Everybody doesn't have to fly. But if you do have to fly, Billy and I are going to do our best to make sure we find an organization that will assist you with this. Billy and I both having had service dogs before, we understand the difficulty of having to travel from one place to another. Depending on the severity of your injury or your ailment, you might have to go out of state, and that is not cheap. We understand that. I don't know if any of you own cars. Motherfucking gas is $3.50 up here in Maine right now. It's a pain in the dick. Trying to fly anywhere is like $400. Who the hell's got time for that? So we're trying to make sure it's as easy for you all to receive the treatment and the care that you need within what we would consider a reasonable distance of travel. And thanks to the advent of the internet, we can do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we understand there's other veteran organizations out there that do stuff like that, but this is our platform. And, the other part of it, too, is something we've always prided ourselves on since day one is we're going to give you those uncut conversations. It's how can I say it?
Oh, threw this up here from Mike, this very last one. That's a fucking good one. We need an Uber Vets.
Yeah, because
that's not terrible.
Yes.
Not terrible, man. Yeah, all right, Mike, fucking clock one in for you, buddy. Everybody gets one.
Start putting out a game plan, bro. Start putting out a business plan. What are you doing? Where are you taking this? Like, let's get it done. But no, I mean, we just want to be able to be there for you guys again, and it's really, really, really good to be back. It's really good to be doing this again. It's not pre-recorded. It's not something that's just going to get thrown together. There's thought that goes into us. There's, I said this on TV radio, and you guys can listen to that. I think it was, I'll put it up in the comments after the show on the episode.
2 Saturdays ago.
But it's also on their podcast platforms. But, there's a lot of planning that goes into this. And it's something I always say, simple little things, right? He was looking straight on at the camera. I'm trying to as much as I can, but I got a monitor here because while I'm doing the show, I'm also producing it. And I've made this disclaimer so many times because we've gotten those dumb people like, why doesn't he look at the camera? Why isn't he not looking at me?
Because Billy's fucking smarter than me, and I don't know how to fucking do any of this. That's
so I got multiple monitors up, and we're streaming to different platforms right now, all live. So I got to make sure everything's going good, and comments are coming in from every place, and I got to pick through them to make sure you get fucking dickheads up here who are like, oh, blah, 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 like baby penis. Well, that's fucking great. You have problems. And that's a different conversation we're going to have because I'm calling the police. But it's the conversations I miss. It's finding those organizations. It's the research behind it that I miss. I miss the research and finding these organizations we didn't know existed. And we had so many of them. God, we had so many of them on here that are doing such amazing things now. And we're going to touch base back with them because there's some very crucial ones in those states. And, they've reached out to us after they heard we're coming back. And it's been pretty awesome. My phone has been going off for the first 30 minutes we've been on here. And it's been pretty awesome. But we really missed you guys. We miss doing this. These live shows. And it takes a lot. So please be patient with us. We gotta shake off the cobwebs here, after a year and a half of being gone. I'm gonna throw Hugh under the bus. Hugh was nervous coming on here today because it's been so long.
I was so nervous, dude. I was so nervous because when we during COVID, it was like I didn't have fuck all else to do. So why not get on the internet and talk to people about stuff? And the whole goddamn HUGH copy book, man, it still fucking boils my goddamn blood. Go back to one of the first episodes of the podcast way back in the day. Motherfucking HUGH, Jesus Christ. But now that we're committed 100 episodes, it was awesome. My break time from reality. Thanks, Mike.
Mike, we mean that means the world to us, man. Thank you, Kim. That means more to me than I can even express.
A lot of I think when we decided that we were going to come back and we were going to do it and after a bunch of talks, and yesterday you texted me hey, we're doing this again, starting today. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I had this massive weight. It was man, I probably can't fuck off anymore. I probably need to allocate some time to this.
Yeah.
And so consequently, I got a 48 on my first chemistry quiz yesterday.
Yes.
I was doing research for this.
Yes. Go bigger, go home. And you're going home.
Go bigger, go.
Those grades.
I was fuck, I got to do this test before midnight. Son of a bitch. Sorry, the first one. I got a whole semester left.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
No, but it's, we're going to be.
Billy, I need to do a story because if I don't, then it's the show's not really back. And I have a great one. I'll queue it up.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Hold on. Before you say that, hold on. Before the story, we will be here every Monday at 6:30. Monday is going to be the day that we're going to be here live every Monday at 6:30. So this is where you'll be able to catch us. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So what happened was my buddies Josh and Jesse and I were playing cards, right? And this is while we were in Africa. And then a buddy of mine, Joey, who's black, which is relevant to the story, not just because he is. I invited him over. I was like, hey, do you want to come play cards? So he's like, yeah. So we played cards. And then another night, Joey wasn't there. Josh, Jesse, and I are playing cards. Josh is like, hey, Hugh, where's your buddy? And Jesse and I were kind of we don't really know who you're talking about because it had been the three of us for the last 3 or 4 months. A couple people here and there, but not really anybody else. We're like, who the fuck are you talking about? And Josh was like, yeah, your buddy, Toby. And so Jesse and I are now laughing hysterically. Jesse might have peed himself a little bit. Josh does not understand why this is so funny to the two of us. So finally, Jesse gets his composure and he's like, Toby? And Josh is like, yeah, what's so funny? We're like, do you mean Joey? And he's like, oh, yeah, Joey. So now we're laughing even more. He's like, I don't understand. Why is this so funny? But we're like, have you never seen Roots?
Have you never seen this movie?
He's like, no lie, is it good?
Jesus Christmas.
So
yeah, it's a wonderful movie. We should watch it now.
Explain to him why it's so fucking terrible. This dialogue of vomit that he just fucking put out there. We're like, he's like, I don't understand. We're like, do you know the Kunta Kinte? He's like, oh, from that show. Like, oh,
that's messed up.
Out of the Midwest, fucking institutionalized racism out of Chicago. You knew what that was, didn't you? So he's like, oh my God, no, that's not what it went. I didn't know. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. A couple days go by. Jesse and I see Joey, and we tell him the story. Joey's like, that's fucking funny. Fuck, that's hilarious, right? So couple more days go by. We're all at the bar in Africa, 11 degrees north, which is what it was called. And we're all sitting there shooting the breeze. Joey comes over. I was like, hey, man, you got to come over. Like, we're going to be out there playing cards tonight. I know, Guinness, we're almost done. We're going to be out here playing cards tonight. He comes over. It's Josh, Jesse, and I, and a couple of buddies. And Joey comes over like, hey, man, how's it going? And Josh is like, hey, Joey, it's good to see you. And Joey goes, Joey, my name's Toby.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, my God. The whole fucking table was losing it because of the whole table is fucking Scene Roots. LeVar Burton's fucking piece de resistance.
Oh
fucking
God, dude.
Josh,
so
on the other hand, is fucking mongoloid. Has no goddamn idea. Oh, man.
Oh, it's fucking great. It's fucking great.
11 out of 10. 11
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, Hugh, I think this is a good spot for us to fucking kick this off for the first one back, our 2.0 version of ourselves.
LRP 2.0.
LRP 2.0. I gotta make that into a thing
Hashtag
now.
black.
Shit.
Hashtag
blessed. Oh my God. Hashtag stay black. But no, we really appreciate you guys, everyone that's been through this for the full episode. It truly, honestly means the world to us that you guys still have faith in the content that we put out. We're going to continuously evolve, and if you guys have ideas for organizations, or you know of an organization in your state that we haven't addressed, please, libertyriskpodcast@gmail.com. Send that directly to us. We'll research it. I can't promise that everyone will be on there, but we will do our best. We have a very strict vetting process on how we're going to do things. So we're going to put a lot of research into the stuff that we're going to put out, and because we want to give you that quality. So make sure you come in every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. We're on Facebook and YouTube right now, but we are going to be branching out to more streaming locations. We want to get out there to as many as possible. I do want to say one fucking thing, an issue Hugh and I had. So there's another fucking podcast that stole our fucking name. So if you look us, if you type in, it's not even a podcast. It's fucking whatever the fuck it is. I'm getting angry. I gotta fucking.
If you tell your friends about Liberty Risk Podcast, you tell them to find it on YouTube.
This stupid.
Tell them to skip the shitty animated thing with the rat and the bird.
Hold on. You know what?
And honestly, I don't really know, like, in general, as a veteran, that really, like, that adds up. You know what I mean? Like, if you're telling someone, like, oh yeah, skip the one with the rat and the bird, you don't really have to ask. If you go to YouTube and type it in, skip it, go to our logo, tell your friends about it. I wouldn't tell your grandparents, probably unless they're Republican, and find our other shows, but don't watch the animated shitty one with the rat and the bird. We're working on it. It's some ghost story stuff. I mean, I guess if you like it, check out some ghost stories, but it is not us. They don't look nearly as pretty as Billy and I do.
All right, so that's our old logo. We're getting rid of that. I got to change that up. But this is not us. For some reason, it hits right at the top.
Actually, that one there that says Live Meow.
This is us here, and then this is all our old stuff. So if you actually go to our page at Liberty Risk Podcast, not Blue Falcon.
Back then. Look at that thing. Go down a little bit. Oh God, 2 years ago. Look at that beard. Fucking.
So if you click ours, it says we are at Liberty Risk Podcast, not Blue Falcon. I mean, they're telling ghost stories and stuff. That's great, but they're not Liberty Risk.
I guess that's your jam, but
Now if you go
don't help them to hurt us.
If you go here, we don't have videos on the homepage because we do everything live. So you got to click the live button. And this is everything we've ever done. This is all the organizations.
Holy fuck. Do we really have that many episodes?
Yeah, this is everything we've ever done.
Jesus.
All the way back to this 3 years. Look at this. 3 years ago, the second episode. And it is God, I was skinny. God, I'm fucking fatter and older. God damn it. You know what? Fuck, I'm done sharing this shit.
I would close that out, man. That makes me feel bad.
Fucking Christmas, bro. I'm like 100 pounds lighter. God damn fucking son of a bitch.
Oh, man. I got to go back and rewatch some of those for some golden oldies is what it is. Here in a not long amount of time, those would be some classics.
But we reached out to those guys. They haven't responded. They actually deleted our comments, and they're not reaching out to us. Whatever it is, what it is, we're going to take care of it.
They're Marines, and not everybody's a 10 if you're a Marine. So,
speaking of Marines, it's the okayest Marine.
That's it. It's the okayest Marine. Hey!
Chris. We appreciate
the world's
you.
okayest Marine.
Go talk to your fucking boys and tell them to cut the shit. No, but listen, guys, every Monday night at 6:30, we're going to catch us right here. We're going to be doing different shit. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have those real conversations. We'll start getting other organizations on here, but the first couple episodes are just going to be Hugh and I. Might bring a friend or two in here that's been around for a while. Maybe they've been on the show before just to kind of bullshit and catch up. But this is it. This is us. It's just us. That's it. The only hosts, Hugh and I, and that. See, I didn't say me and Hugh. See, I've gotten better since you've been gone. See, you didn't have to correct me. Fuck you. All right, guys, we love you so much. Go over to DV Radio tonight, dvradio.net. Go listen to Barracks Talk at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Those guys are fucking phenomenal. They've been in here commenting the whole time.
Be a great show.
And
DV
just
Radio, 11 out of 10.
Chop it up with them because they are literally one of our biggest supporters for another veteran organization, and they do amazing things.
Boner
in the
Wood's
veteran
my
community.
hero.
Yeah. Plus his name's Boner Wood. Like, come on, it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's the veteran of all veteran names.
Yeah, it's fucking perfect. But we love you guys over there. We love you guys for coming back and having faith in us. And we will see you guys next Monday at 6:30. Y'all have a good night.
Night, everyone. Take it easy. Thanks.